Hey guys, so today I decided that I was going to do a video on bullying because bullying is something that affects everybody, everywhere, and it doesn't matter who you are. The thing about bullying is that most of the time when people are getting bullied, they don't want to speak out and tell anybody because they're so hurt and they're afraid that if they tell someone that it's going to make everything worse. And sometimes when you're getting bullied, most of the time when you're getting bullied, you get into a state of depression where you don't want to do anything and you don't want to talk and you don't want to face that bully because of things that are going on inside of you, and you don't want to make everything worse for yourself. So mostly you just hold it in and basically hope for the best. And the thing is, like, you can't just keep it in when you're being bullied. I mean, I've been bullied my whole life and I'm being bullied right now over something that is absolutely none of the girls' business, but they all just kind of, they all work together to hurt you and hurt me and hurt people like us that are so down and so depressed anyways. So when you think about bullying, the first thing you probably think about is probably a bigger guy or a girl coming up to someone and knocking their books out of their hands, or taking their lunch money, like the classic bullying. But I think bullying's been promoted by the media because there's always movies like, kind of like Grease, like the big jocks and the T-Birds who are bullies. And they say that bullying is really bad in middle school, but it's also really bad in high school too, because in high school you're trying to find yourself and you're trying to find out who you are. And a lot of people in high school, they are on drugs or they're alcoholics because life's getting so hard, and they know they're about to grow up, get into the world, and they're not going to have that shelter of parents or anybody to help them along. They're going to be out in the world, so they have so many things going on that when someone bullies them, they say, oh, well, I already have this big problem at home or at work, so this is the last thing I need. I don't want to stand up for myself. But the thing is, like, you can only take so much from people. You can only, turn so many cheeks. You only have two, and sometimes when you're turning and turning and turning, you're just making yourself a big spiral circle of depression and pain and anger and hurt. And if you can't let go of the bullies, then you need to reach out and get help. If it's affecting you to the point where you want to kill yourself, or you're self-harming, or you have an eating disorder or anything like that, you need to tell someone and you need to get help right away, because if you don't, it'll only get worse. And sometimes when you face the bully, the problem doesn't go away, and adults don't seem to understand that. I mean, some do. Like in schools, they tell you, oh, bullying isn't permitted, you can't bully people, but yet it goes on every day and nobody does anything about it, which is why I joined COCA, and this is why I have Silent Screams Now Heard and Cascading Crimson on Facebook. And, it's time for people to reach out to other people and lend that helping hand that everybody always talks about. The helping hand is, you can save a life. You can help someone to the point where it won't affect them anymore. People get so down and so low, and they just don't even want to do anything because they're so hurt by what's going on. And you see that person every day, and you'll be like, hi, how are you? And they'll be like, oh, I'm fine, everything's absolutely great. And in reality, they're dying inside. They are dying for somebody to care, and they're dying because they feel like they're not good enough as a person to be something, or else these people wouldn't harass and, treat them so badly. But the problem is with the bully. I mean, they're the problem, obviously, and they have problems of their own, and they're trying to make themselves feel bigger by hurting you. So it's not anything you're doing. And if you're watching this and you're a bully, then you need to stop, because it gets you nowhere. It's going to make you feel good, but what if you come to school one day and find out that that girl you just bullied or that guy you just bullied killed herself, or they're in a hospital because they couldn't take the pain of what you said, that the words just keep going over and over in their mind, and they can't do anything about it because they're so down and so hurt by the words that you spoke so carelessly that it absolutely tore them apart. I've been there time after time after time with people, all through middle school, all through elementary, and now through high school. And it's seriously time that people actually quit watching these videos and quit saying, oh, well, it's good that you're trying to do this, because if you're going to tell me that it's good, or anyone else that it's good, and then you're going to go out and bully the next day, then that makes you a bad person. And there's no point in you even, saying, oh, I hate bullying, it's so bad, when you're doing it every single day. And if you're the person that's in that position where you're getting bullied and you feel so helpless and so hurt and alone, there is help for you out there. I don't care how hard it is. I don't care if the thought of you getting help makes you sick, makes you shake and puke and cry and lose yourself. I've been there. I've been there time after time, and I'm sure you have too if you're watching this. And once you go and get help for yourself, when you can face yourself and and get back the person that you used to know, or at least something close to it, to where you're not some depressed, lifeless soul floating around in like crimson nothing, or starving yourself to death, then you can start to heal from that. And it's something that everybody knows. Everybody knows that people get bullied. Everybody knows that people kill themselves, but yet they still do it. So something has to be done. And I hope that my group will help you guys to know that you're not alone when you're being bullied, even though you feel alone, like you have no one. Like, there might be that one friend that cares, that comes and puts their arms around you and says, you can cry, it's okay. And then you'll still feel so alone. You'll know that they care about you, but you won't deep down grasp the fact that someone could care about you because you feel so low and worthless and pathetic. You know what I'm saying? And it's pathetic. All of it is, because why would you want to hurt someone just because you have problems? I'm the type of person that if I get hurt, I keep it in. I don't talk about it. I hurt and hurt and hurt until I just want to die. I cry because I want to die. I've been there before. And it gets you nowhere. Nowhere at all, except deeper and deeper into depression. That's how I got myself 3 years of self-injury and an eating disorder that I've had since 6th grade. You need to tell somebody, you need to talk. If you can't trust your parents, heck, get a hold of me, talk to me. I will help you. I will be there for you. I will be that person that gives you hope when you have none. I have a big heart, and it's true when they say that the people who have the biggest hearts get hurt the most, because I stick to the truth no matter what. I stick to the truth. But inside, I'm this fragile glass bird that can't fly because I've held so much down and the burdens have broke my wings. And I've stayed like that. Like, I'm constantly in a battle with myself every day, from my bipolar disorder to my dissociative identity disorder to my manic depression, and excuse me, I'm sorry, and everything else that's wrong with me, and I've been that person for so long that just didn't want to get help and didn't want to do anything because I felt like I was nothing, until it absolutely ate me alive. So I had to cope with things that are dangerous and could kill me anytime, and I'm one of those people that can tell you straight up, suicide is not the answer. It is not. I'm a suicide attempt survivor, and I'm here today to tell you that there is hope for you when it looks like there is none, when you think you're about to die, when you think no one can understand, when you think this pain is never going to go away and that you have no one. You have me. Even if I don't know you personally, I will talk to you and I will help you in the best way I know can. the best way I know that I can, and I will be your support. If you have no one, I will be here for you. I will tell you the truth straight up. I'm a really kind person and I'm really soft-hearted, but, lately I've been getting hurt so much that I feel myself just, getting colder towards everybody because I'm just so tired of it, I try and I try and I try, and everything I do seems like I fail. But I'm still here and I keep trying, and I have not self-harmed in 8 months. 8 months. And I started when I was 13 and I'm 16 now. Getting ready to be 17 in July. You are stronger than what they tell you you are. You are beautiful. You are gorgeous. You have a heart of gold, and you can make it through anything. I promise.